Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What's shaking on your Tuesday? There's Sunday Jenna. Man, oh man, I'm telling you what, it's good to see you. I hope the frog's watching. I have a very special surprise for the Dabbleverse folks that come in here. Man, oh man, do I have a nice surprise for you. Yeah, Toby McGroby might be in later. He was talking about, there he is. There's the king of dabblers. Rib Wild Bill says, because he always reminds me, be sure to hit that like, smash that share, and if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe, ring the notification bell, do all that great stuff. We would love it if you did. You can go to TomGullyShow.com. You can see over 270 podcasts on any topic that you probably like and stuff and things. And if you'd like to donate, God, we need some donations, man. I'm going to start shaking a plate. I may wear a bikini. That would be at paypal.me/TomGullyShow. Man, oh man, oh man. That'd be great. And there's Patreon and things. So merch. Oh, a lot of merch. Let me see here. Did I put any merch in my thing? Oh yeah, right here. Long sleeve. Yeah, that's one. I actually have that actual shirt. And as Reverend Wild Bill says, you know, it's free. It don't cost nothing. You know, it don't cost a number. And there's the frog. I just want to stop down for a second and say, today's episode of the Uncle Rico Show on the Shuli Network, I know I'm deviating from the topic today, which will be 1920's slang, see? Yeah, it'll be 32 skidoo. Yeah. Anyway, it'll be the bee's knees. It was a virtuoso performance by the frog. I mean, it was absolutely an editing masterpiece. They should show it in film schools, like the film school I went to at Ball State University. Show the ring. I mean, just show the broadcasting part of the ring. My fingers is still kind of swollen from the that misadventure that I had. Let's see, focus in on it. There we go. There we go. See the little broadcasting, looks like a satellite or whatever. It actually says broadcasting on it, I think, but it's really small. Anyway, they should really teach it because he was just, you know, Sunday on a Tuesday. Hi, Jenna. Yes. Evening Frog. Team Frog. Yes. Hello, Wild Bill. Hey, Joker. Delco Chris. He's all about the frog. We all really should be. I'm actually on time for once. Diana, nobody's late to this show. Everybody's always on time to this show, except for this guy. I live in mortal fear that the Shuli Network will schedule a show at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then this will be nothing. I will be just doing a show for myself. Randy J. Ramos, the chef, is in the house. We had the yacht builder in very late yesterday. Oh, hey, Joker. Joker Fish says, Frog is the unsung hero of the Dabbleverse. I call him the fifth Beatle. He is amazing. I laughed out loud at some of the stuff today. Fishman says, Cowboy Pepe's Bout Salon. It should be saloon, but it is salon. Anyway, any old way. Boy, do I have a surprise. And I'm telling you, I hope the Joker is here later after I get done with this 20 slang. I'm tempted to do it now. I tell you what, vote in the room right now. Do you want me to do the Dabbleverse surprise that I have now? If you do, because I don't know how to do a poll in here. I'm sure there's a way, but I'm not going to figure it out now. Well, let me see here. Brand. Is it in the brand section? No, it's not in the brand section. It's in one of the sections. Stuttering John is on right now. Who cares? It's stupid to watch him. It's better to watch the recap on the Shuli Network. If you want me to do it right now, one. And if you want me to do it after I do the 1920s slang, 2. So 1, if you want me to do it right now. 2, if you'd like me to do it later. Okay, it's tied up. 1 to see. We got, it's so tight. It's down the middle. I am going to play you a clip from a famous TV show. Okay? And the famous TV show, it's tied. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay. A famous TV show that has a character that not only looks a little bit like Vince the lawyer, but the laugh is identical to that of Vince the lawyer. And if the frog's still in the room, I will give you the vote because we're tied. So whatever the frog decides, that's what I'm going to do. As I vamp. I got 1920s slang for you, though. Boy, oh boy, let me tell you. I really do. I got a lot of it here. It's on my phone. I didn't want to put it on my browser. It's on a phone here. There we go. I got it getting it queued up. Somebody just texted me. Why do people text me during the show? Please. Let's see. We're tied up. Okay. Tie goes to the runner. I'll do it later. There. Later. That's the answer. Later. After this 1920 slang, you guys are really going to like this. JC is down with the 20 slang. I am too. In fact, the very last word in this list is a word I use all the time and have for many years. And I didn't even realize it was from the 20s. I knew it was old. I just didn't know. Oh, sorry. Got to do the official. Let me tell you about 1920s slang. Slang terms. Words that your grandparents may have used. Lyndon is here. Lyndon says, hello all. Let's hear the word. I'll tell you at the end. Okay. Words, come in and out of vogue. And 100 years ago, the words that you heard or saw several times a day were different than the ones that we have now. In fact, about 100 years ago, the common slang terms were completely different than what we hear today. I don't like the way this microphone is put there. And some of them are weird. Check out some of these words that were the bee's knees back in the day and see what you think. Joker says we're flapper girls from the 20s. They indeed were. As a matter of fact, Joker, just for you, I will put up a photo. Thanks, StreamYard. Thanks. Appreciate you. Telling you, it ain't going to take a whole lot more for me to kick StreamYard to the curb. Fishman says 23 Skidoo. Yeah, that's one of them. But that's not on my list. But yeah, 23 Skidoo. Yeah, that means something really good. Just got here. What are we voting on? Voting's over. It doesn't matter. I'm going to show you something really cool after these slang terms. Diana Bryan says, I'm probably old enough to be that grandparent. No, you're not. You and I are the exact same age. Jokerfish says, wow, thank you. Anytime. Oh, incidentally, behind me, I'll get rid of the flapper for just a second. This guy, because it was during Prohibition, see that dude there? He is pouring beer in a barrel down a manhole cover because it was Prohibition and you weren't allowed to have booze. Let me put that flapper back up. There we go. Oh, hey, by the way, the stock market crashed in 1929. This is a picture of Wall Street moments after it crashed. People were gathering outside because it was such a big deal. All right, here we go. An icy mitt. An icy mitt. There's a really good example from the Frog's virtuosity today of what an icy mitt is. You receive the icy mitt when you express feelings for someone and said feelings are not reciprocated. I'll use it in a sentence. John got an icy mitt from Kate. Yeah, it's when you like somebody and they don't like you back. Yeah, well, I was trying to ask her out, but I got the icy mitt. So, a blue nose. A blue nose is a wet blanket or someone who puts a damper on the mood or festivities. That would be Vince the lawyer. Iron your shoelaces. I love this one. You know, I got to go iron my shoelaces. That means you have to go to the bathroom. Can you imagine being in a group of people? Where's she going? I think she had to iron her shoelaces. A manacle. Okay, now in the 1920s, a manacle didn't always mean like a shackle or something like that. It It was slang for a wedding ring. So I lost my manacle. Yeah, you lost your wedding ring. Handcuff, kind of the same thing. That is an engagement ring, you know. So I don't know. He asked me out, but he was wearing a handcuff. So anyway, the berries. If something was really awesome, it was the berries. Did you see that new movie? Yeah, it was the berries. I love that one. Now, this is a name for a buzzkill type of person. like Stuttering John. It's Werp. W-U-R-P. Werp. Oh, that guy's a real werp. Should we invite him to the party? No, he's a real werp. Oliver Twist. Okay, now we all know Oliver Twist, the famous British novel and, you know, the beggar boy in 19th century London. But in the 20s, Oliver Twist, if you said that guy's a real Oliver Twist, it was somebody that was known as being a particularly good dancer. You know? This is one of my favorite ones. Sockdolager. Sockdolager. Sockdollager. That's someone or something that is truly remarkable or impressive. Kind of like a humdinger. Okay? So there you go. It's like, you should have seen him. He jumped off the pool right into the thing, and it was a sockdolager. I love this one too. And this kind of relates to the Dabbleverse slightly. Know your onions. Know your onions. It's, you know, I took my car to that mechanic. He really knows his onions. That means you know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. You're versed in a particular subject. He knows his onions. Mazuma. That's money, cash. Cheddar, wampum, greenbacks, mean green, Mazuma. I don't know. Right out of Mazuma. By the way, here is Al Jolson and Eddie Cantor, the two famous movie stars of the time. Yeah, I think we've all heard this one. This one has survived 100 years, and that's Don't Take Any Wooden Nickels. You guys ever heard that one? You ever heard that one? You know, I don't take any wooden nickels. That's just something you would say to somebody. Well, I'm heading for college, Dad. Yeah, don't take any wooden nickels. Just means, you know, don't do something stupid. Don't be a rube. This is an interesting one. Let's blouse. Let's blouse. B-L-O-U-S-E, like a blouse, like a woman's top garment. And that meant, let's get out of here. So you'd be with a guy at a party and you go, let's blouse. That just meant we're leaving. Noodle juice. Noodle juice. This one's for Bob Levy. Noodle juice, back in the 20s, meant tea. Tea was known as noodle juice. Bimbo. Now, we still use bimbo for, you know, a woman that might be a little bit loose or whatever. Back in the day, a bimbo was a tough-looking guy in the 1920s. Didn't mean a chick. It was that guy's a real bimbo. It was just a tough-looking dude. This one I love too. A lot of these I love. Banks closed. Okay, so if you were out in public and you were with your best gal or your best guy, and you were using a little bit too much PDA, you were making out or necking or doing something like that. That's what it meant. Somebody would come up and go, hey, bank's closed. It means you got to stop making out. Sinker. A sinker. Back in the 20s, a sinker was not a baseball pitch. It was, indeed, a donut. Because people dunked their donuts in coffee because they didn't have the fancy donuts we have today. They had those big, dry, you know, whatever. Nerts. Nerts. N-E-R-T-S. Nerts. If you said nerts, that meant that something was amazing, right? So if you saw a guy throw a football over a mountain, you might say, nerts. Zozzled. Zozzled. Zozzled is the same as some people say Also back in the day, ossified. I've heard people say that to this day. And spifflicated. Spifflicated was another word used in the same way as zazzled. It means super duper drunk. You might say, I watched the Stuttering John show the other day. The guy was zazzled. Struggle buggy. Struggle buggy. That was just a car. Back seat of a car specifically. Because it wasn't easy to make out. A lot of stuff dealt with making out back in the 20s. You know what I'm saying? Tell it to Sweeney. That was what someone would say if, like, you were telling them a story that you didn't really believe. They were telling you a story that you didn't believe, like anything, maybe say a stuttering John Melendez would say. Like if he said, yeah, I almost beat up Patrick Melton and Bob Levy. Yeah, tell it to Sweeney. That just means I think you're full of it. Upstage. Upstage did not mean like taking all the glory or trying to be the center of attention. It meant stuck up or snobby. Go chase yourself. That doesn't, you don't need to really have a lot of explanation to know what that means. It just means get out of here. You know, beat it. Dewdropper. A dewdropper was a lazy guy, a slacker. Like, that Stuttering John's a real dewdropper. Gasper, Gasper. A gasper is a cigarette. It's like, you know, you got a gasper? Or, no, he was sitting there smoking a gasper. Foot juice. Foot juice back in the day was cheap, subpar wine. Ripple. You know, it was foot juice. Obviously from the stomping of grapes, blah, blah, blah. Mind your potatoes. Mind your potatoes meant mind your own business. And then last but not least, Jake. Wild Bill's in the room, and Wild Bill will attest that I always say, man, everything's Jake. That means everything's fine. Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. You know, I love that. Everything's going to be Jake. Everything's Jake. Don't worry about it. So anyway, there's just a few of the slang phrases. We've mentioned a few others, and I'm assuming when I go through the chat room here that there'll be even more. Let's see what the fabulous Tom Gully Show chat room. To the more than 20 people here, TomGullyShow.com. If you want to see a bunch of podcasts or hear them, you can go get some of the merch that we have, like this clock or this shirt. You know, because really the Tom Gully Show's bank account is like, yes, the collapse of Wall Street. So if you go to paypal.me/Tom Gully Show, we'd really appreciate anything you can do at all. At all. Really. At all. What do we got here? Toby McGroby is here just in time because in just a few seconds I'm going to play a clip that will beguile and amuse you. Frogs are they now? I don't think so. If you mean by that happy, by the way, in the 20s, gay meant happy. Yeah, thanks, StreamYard. It only took you half an hour. I don't know what's going on there. Let's see, WURP, oh, your favorite oldies. Lyndon says, one I know is what my great uncle Charlie called dipso. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're dipso, you're really out of it. Diana Bryan says, that's a British old saying, know your onions. Yes, he really knows his onions. Oh, he really knows his onions, doesn't he? Let me get that off of here. I just think it's funny. Joker Fitz says, yes. Well, good. Support the Dutch farmers. I didn't know they were in trouble, but anything Dutch I'll support. Why? Dennis Bergkamp. That's why. Lyndon says, was mind your P's and Q's before the 20s? I'll look that up here in just a second. Banks closed. No deposits. Yeah, well, yes. Fish. What about chicken fish? Delco Chris, that explains why Klinger from MASH called Quartermaster Bimbo. Always thought that was odd. Yeah, that's exactly why. He's a tough guy. Fubar. We all know what Fubar means. We've seen Saving Private Ryan at the very least. Dinah Brand says, we say sozzled in England a while back. England probably has 42,000 slang terms for being drunk. Ripple in still water. That's what I am. Foot juice, MD 2020, Thunderbird. Yes, we all know the thing there. Let me see. Let me try to find Mind Your P's and Q's, and then I'll go and I'll play you this clip that you guys are going to love. And I demand and absolutely require that I get credit for this. Oh, thanks, Google. P's and Q's is short for pleases and thank yous. The latter syllable pronounced like the think Q, like the letter Q. And then another place they say it may have come from is the English pubs and taverns of the 17th century. Bartenders would keep watch over the pints and quarts consumed by the patrons, telling them to mind their P's and Q's. So those are the two places that that may have originated. There you go. What else we got in the chat room here? Wow, there's a lot of stuff. In New York City, Jake means the police. I did not know that. Everything's Jake. Things are going to be Jake. That Brett Hollywood is a real trollop, a real floozy, a real harlot, a really hotsy-totsy girl. Yeah, that's another one, was hotsy-totsy back in the day. Sven Dunkel says, I love Slang. I love Jake, but I hope everything is not Jake. I'm with you there, Terry. Yeah, hit like, smash share, YouTube, subscribe, contribute. My 20-ounce coffee mug is coming. I need a picture of you with that. Yeah, put that on my Tom Gully Show Facebook page. Jokerfish says, Grandma used to say, go S in your hat. Yeah, go S in your hat is later than the 20s. And Johnny Carson famously said that to Stephanie Zimbalist, because she is a collector, or was a collector, of phrases like this, as I am. And one of them was, don't drop your teeth. That means don't be so surprised. And Johnny Carson said, so I guess don't blank in your hat is maybe not on the list. And they bleeped it out. And Johnny was famous for not cursing on the show, but he did that time. Maybe he was sweet on Stephanie Zimbalist. The Reverend Wild Bill says queer meant strange. Yeah, it was, there's a full moon in the middle of the day. That's queer. Yeah, it just meant strange. Wife's Pittsburgh term that I can't say. Support German farmers. Well, let's just support all the farmers. I think we still have the big concert series every year, Farm Aid. Julian Caesar says, or from handwriting, since P and Q are so similar, people learning to write need to be careful not to transpose the letters, or I would assume when people wrote in cursive to write them properly. Delco Chris says, Terry Nee, that mug holds a homemade heart imploding quadruple shot latte. Yeah, it's a big mug. It's a big, big mug. The DDLD says there was a song back then called Flatfoot Floogie with the Floy Floy. I've heard that song. The record company objected to floozy, but the song was about a hooker with an STD. I've heard that. Flatfoot Floogie with the Floy Floy. I've heard that song. A lot of them were instrumentals back in the day. Hugh says, my 2 11-ounce coffee cups are supposed to be here next Tuesday. Yes! Yes! Even the Flintstones say, we'll have a gay old time. Yeah, there was a movie called The Gay Divorcee, which is quite different than the movie The Enemy Sex. That's not good, The Enemy Sex. All right, here you go. All right, now you guys know that for a while they've been making fun of Vince the Lawyer's laugh on Rico Show, BS Show. And each time they do it, I say, That laugh is identical to this laugh. And I describe it in the chat. And of course, it's my chat, so nobody pays attention to it, even though I support that network so hard here. By the way, tomorrow night, replayables, 8 p.m. Eastern. Let me see here. I am going to now show you. This may be early Vince the lawyer. And it's certainly, this is transformative. So why? This is transformative. We are going to analyze this. If you hear that, then you know what famous show this comes from. Let me see here if I can cue it up to the right spot. I think it might be right here. Okay. This may be the earliest reckoning of Vince the lawyer, and it definitely is the sound of his laughter. The first time I've ever heard it. Let me go ahead and I got to do a couple of things here. I got to do that. Then I got to do this. Now I got to make myself Vince the lawyer sized so you guys can see the picture better. Then I have to go here and I have to do this. Okay, now listen carefully because I don't know how loud this is, but.
Me, sir, I'd like to volunteer.
Ah, you represent Earth's best then.
No, sir, I'm not. I'll make plenty of mistakes.
But you'd find out more about us that way. And I'd get a better officer in return.
Let's just do that again because it's very important. Now, if that's not VTL, one more time.
And I'd get a better officer in return.
Am I right? Am I right? And I demand to get credit for this. I demand it. It's really important that I get credit for this. It's a YouTube clip. If you search for it, it's called The Real Baylock, and it's during the 3-minute mark. I'm telling you. Can I get some feedback? I was hoping the frog would be here so I could get some feedback from him. Sven Dunkel says, Princess Chlamydia in the house. Hey now. Hey now. Let's, Star Wars. No, not Star Wars. Spaceball. No, not Spaceballs. Beam me up. There you go. Let's see here. That is great, Tom. Is it not? Same hair, same size. I'm going to put the clip in here. Tom, I have noticed an uptick on the TSN chat mentioning your show. Geez, does that sound like VTL? And then King of Dabblers, FVTL. But I'm telling you, is that not the same laugh? Does it not look like a tiny, younger... It's from the episode The Corbomite Maneuver. Fishman says gully in slang refers to people or things that come from the gutter in the streets. If you're tough, rugged, or gangster, you might be gully. I've heard that. And a gully, of course, is a ditch that dirty water runs through. We all know this. Face that only a mother could love. Yes. VTL is really Clint Howard. Holy cow. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to put the name of the clip here in the chat. It's from the Corbomite Maneuver. I don't care. I don't know. You guys probably going to care about this. That's actually the first episode of Star Trek that I ever saw. Ever. By the way, Fishman, thank you. I'm feeling much better about myself now. You know, I grew up on a small farm in Indiana, and incidentally, I miscalculated my beverage allotment for this show today. I hate it when I do that. Yeah, there we are. The Real Baylock. That is if you search that in YouTube, Frog or anybody else, that's where you'll find it. Sunday, if I get a laugh out of Sunday, Jenna, it's a good day. Gully is a manhole in German. Ich verstehen. I keep it gully in a certified scully. The Reverend Wild Bill says, I remember the night Star Trek first came on. I remember the very first episode was the Corbomite maneuver, and it was with, that was it. It was Balak. Joker. That's like a rap lyric. 1, 2. 1, 2, I keep it certified gully, and then I keep it gully in a certified scully. Anyway. Any old way. Hostbusters is on. That's sad. Former Cowboys star Des Bryant wins $416,000 on a massive 13-leg college basketball parlay. Well, nice to know he's doing something. I've spoken to Des, and it wasn't pleasant. How will I ever be able to take VTL seriously now after seeing that, says Julian Zeezer. Do you know how tempted I am to show that again? I could just show that on a loop, really. Let's see, certified stone green host. I am certified stone green. Should I put it up for a second? I might as well. I've got the technology. There we go. Boom. Certified stone green by the Not Even a Show people. I think I'm going to put this guy pouring out the beer back though. Yep. So stone green. Never will I dip below the green level. Ever. Not once. Not ever. So, oh, by the way, our good friends at Sonic Asylum Radio, if you are looking for some heavy metal music, go to sonicasylumradio.com and just listen live. I got to tell you, Metal Maiden Vicky's Metal Euphoria on the weekend. Wow, is it a good show. I'm old school. I remember back in the day when we'd listen to the radio playing while we worked on a car in a driveway somewhere, or we all just hung out, and that's what it's like. She occasionally has bands on, too. Really awesome metal bands, and she does the best music interviews I've heard in 20 years. So check it out, sonicasylumradio.com, and of course we're on their Facebook page, and they're good people. So let me see here. I believe Hollywood Henderson hit the lottery in Texas twice. It wouldn't surprise me. Sunny Jenna says, hey, Tom Gully, why don't you have comments turned on your videos after they are live? Just curious. Well, Sunday, Jenna, I will turn them back on. However, there was a period of time when this show, and Wild Bill will tell you about it, was being trolled very heavily. So I had to turn them off then. I'll turn them back on, though. I've been planning on doing that. Where are the trolls? I don't know. I don't think they're around anymore. I made friends with them. And I found out they weren't really trolls. They were people, just like you and I. Randy Ramos says that picture behind me makes me sad. Yeah, they're dumping out. I had other pictures of them destroying booze at my disposal. Asking for a friend, said Sven Dunkel. A lot of them may not know I'm back on. Terry says, wow, you're old. I am old. Sven Dunkel says they tricked the Irish back then. Yes. JC says he's a troll. You're just a member of a cult. You're not a troll. I think I may have thought you were a troll at one time, but now I know you. You're a good guy. There's nothing wrong with you at all. You're a good fella. You really are. The Reverend Wild Bill says, when I was growing up, our radio was in the living room to listen to shows. Yeah. Sunday Jenna said, thanks. I had a feeling it was something like that. I'll turn them back on. I really should. Sven Dunkel says, I'm a goblin. Well, Sven, just exactly what are you gobbling? We buds now. I love Tom in a plutonic way. Yes. I love all the... Hey, JC, let me just... This will prove it right here. There you go. JC, if that doesn't prove how I feel about you people, then I don't know what will. Incidentally, nobody's gotten a hold of me to host Pod Awful. People said there was all sorts of stuff going on about it. I've never been contacted. Those dastardly trolls might contribute to the slang. Dastardly. We had great college radio in New Jersey. College radio is still great. It really is. My high school station, WHJE, what was the 846? I used to remember the number 846-7728. The 91 line for your requests. 91.3 WHJE. It got we had commercial radio stations mad at us because we were playing such cool stuff that they couldn't play, that we were getting tons of listenership. And college radio stations are kind of the same way. They certainly were in the 80s and the 70s. College radio station, if you really want to hear the underground good stuff that they would never play, Sex Pistols, Ramones, you listen to college radio. It was really good stuff. Sven Knuckles says, "Aw, hell yeah, brother. Sorry about the caps. We're cap friendly here. Don't worry about that." Sven Knuckles says, "I just can't stand when Tom is pissed and don't understand my English." I'm okay. I don't know that I've never not understood your English. I mean, there's lots of things I don't understand on this program. Can we just get that out of the way? I'm not sometimes I ain't so smart. WREK for Georgia Tech and WREK, I guess, Georgia State. WRAS. Okay. We didn't have a college. At Ball State, it was really weird because we were one of the first universities to have a dedicated broadcasting program. Our school station was WBST, which was an NPR station. WBST, Fine Arts Radio for East Central Indiana. And I worked on it, but it was awful, because we only played classical music. And it would be, that was Dvorak's Concerto for Piano and Harpsichord in D minor. You're listening to WBST. I mean, it was awful. Now, the thing was that every dormitory at Ball State had a carrier current radio station in it. And a lot of times, in the mornings, people would be on during the middle of the day and stuff until the evening. Maybe nobody would be on. But on the weekends, you were rocking all weekend because it came through a carrier current. And you, most of the time, had to bring your own records because all they had was old 45s of old stuff. But even then, there was interesting stuff there. I ended my show. I did Friday nights. Everybody partied to my show in Studebaker Complex. And I ended my show at 10 o'clock. And then somebody came in after me. But I ended my show every single night. And people were just completely perplexed with the B-side that we had at the station at the time of White Christmas by Bing Crosby was a song called When the Blue of the Night Meets the Gold of the Day. Nobody could figure out why, and I loved it. I just loved it. Rock was on AM in the 70s, yes. We had WNDE in Indianapolis. I worked at WIFE. By the way, there is an amazing documentary about the war between WIFE and WIBC in Indianapolis. WIFE isn't around anymore. They got in big trouble for some scandals involving promotions and stuff. But that was after I think I had gone by that time. That was the first station I got paid to work at. Overnights on weekends. I was 16 years old. First song I ever played on the air was Beast of Burden by the Rolling Stones. Hugh says, I remember hearing the David Allan Coe X-rated songs on college radio in St. Louis. That's funny. That's funny. You don't have to call me darling, darling. You never even called me by my name. Anyway, my message was deleted when I mentioned the cult name. Jesse's channels were false flagged and taken down. No show to guest host. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? They haven't put up another one yet or anything like that? I am sorry to hear that. That's a bunch of hooey. That is a bunch of hooey. Well, I said the name of the show is Pod Awful. It's still a podcast. You can still go listen to it. Back in the 80s. Oh, back in the 80s. That was so cool. Just got back and watched that Star Trek V2L laugh clip. That was uncanny. Isn't it uncanny? I want credit. This show needs contributions and followers, and that's... I kept mentioning it in the chat, and then it struck me. It's like, nobody but an ultra nerd like me is going to remember that. Jokerfish says, WFMU is still around. Uppsala College closed in the early 90s. Toby McGrowy said, that sounded exactly like him, Tom. You were spot on. Yes, Tranya. That's the drink he gives them at the beginning of the clip. Have some Tranya. They're all looking at him like he's sitting there with it. Here, let me get this out of the way. He's sitting there with it, and they're like, we're not drinking ours till you drink yours. So he drinks his, and they drink theirs. It looks like orange juice. They're Tang to me. Anyway, Sven Dunkel says, Maastricht kicks ass in classic. Okay. Radio was really uplifting back then, Tom. It really was. It was really cool. I'm not mad that, people listen for music because, man, you had to go out and spend money and stuff to get, the music, and a lot of one-hit wonders back then. And you didn't have iPods and phones and Spotify and all that stuff. So you listened to the radio to hear new music. You didn't really hear it in movies and TV shows and stuff unless it was American Bandstand or Midnight Special or something like that. So, or Top of the Pops if you're Diana O'Brien. Randy J. Ramos, didn't you work at the radio station that was on Raymond Street? I don't remember a radio station on Raymond. I didn't work at it, that's for sure. I went to that restaurant down there on Raymond Street, though. That old, maybe it wasn't on Raymond Street, it was close to Raymond Street on Meridian, I think. But it was a really old school restaurant where they had placemats that had illustrations of the drinks on them. I love that place. That's the place. Oh, man. I got to do a show this week on Tony Kuritzis. Tomorrow night, I'm doing a show on Tony Kuritzis. Randy Ramos knows who that is. Anyway, so, yeah, I went to that restaurant. I love that restaurant. Jokerfish says it was Space Coors Light. Delco Chris says, earliest radio station I remember in the mid-'70s, WIFI 92 FM. Listening to Grease, Bee Gees, Foghat, Boston on my Spider-Man wristwatch at 6 to 7 years old. Good times. My grandparents gave me a Zenith solid state transistor radio about yay big. It was about yay big. And I loved it. And they saw how much I loved it. It must have been when I was 5 or 6 years old. And they kept giving me these little radios that they had. They had a ton of them. And they finally gave me one that was like a bread box that I could plug in my bedroom. And it had a dial on the top that you turned. It had a retractable cord. I love that radio. Loved it. FM stereo is just a big conspiracy by Big Audio to make us buy an extra speaker. Today radio is all about whap, 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 got some... Anyway. Toby McGroby says, also getting radio play was life or death for new artists, and we all bonded over it. Yeah, well, they make a big deal out of it. Hey, and coming up next hour, a new release by Elton John. eating ice cream with my grandparents, listening to Phillies games. Something about baseball on the radio is magical. I don't know what it is, but it just is. The thing I loved about radio, says Joker Fish, was a DJ talking about whatever and then played a Captain Beefheart record or Pink Floyd's side 2 of Animals. Yeah. We had a great station. A buddy of mine worked there, Dave Dugan, in Indianapolis, called WNAP, The Wrath of the Buzzard. And they played album rock. Sven Dunkel says, normally I'm under restrictions. Wonder why they let me talk in live. I had a word with them. You can talk here. Great YouTube channel, cover band HSCC, Hindley Street County. I'll just go ahead and say that's maybe country club. But maybe it is County Club. I don't know. Randy D. Robbins says, oh, that was David Letterman. My brother worked at the same station for a while. That was... Letterman's station was WLMI or something like that. That station had gone the way... They weren't that popular when I started working. Diana Bryan says, I love watching reruns of Top of the Pops. Laughable at times. The only thing I don't like about Top of the Pops is that most of the time, not all of the time, it was lip sync. And whereas Midnight Special usually was a live version of the song. Terry Nee says, Australian. Rip and Wild Bill says, I had one of the small pocket transistor radio with the pull-out antenna. Yeah, always with the pull-out antenna. We would be on car trips, and I would be, one station would go out of range, and I would tune another one in, and I had the little earphone when I was doing my paper out. It was awesome. Nothing better than Wagner in the morning mixed with the smell of napalm. Yes, the Attack of the Valkyries. Lip-synced, painfully so. You got that right. It is Hindley Street Country Club. Correct, sir. You are correct, sir. You are correct, sir. Man, that Zenith that they gave me. Oh, maybe it was an RCA. It had this big dial on the top of it. And I wore that thing out. It was like a bread box. It was like a lunch pail. It had a handle on it. And a lot of the radios did back then. Even a decent size, loaf of bread size radio was meant to be portable. So, Diana O'Brien, do you remember that god-awful show Pete Waterman did? Kind of a knockoff of Top of the Pops. Millie and Vanilli. There was a show, it was a syndicated show, right when music video was huge, like when MTV first was a sensation, and it was called Hot. And a guy hosted it like a VJ, and he had a real dry, boring voice. And he'd be, we've all heard Madonna, and here's her new song. It's called Breakaway, here on Hot. And my brothers and I just used to laugh at this guy. He was the most low-energy dude in the world. And then he would play these awesome music videos. However you spell them, yeah. Diana Brand said, pull-out antenna and earphones felt so good. Well, everybody today has those earplugs for Bluetooth. We had those with a wire back in the day, those little sort of, let's see, old school plastic radio earphone. Whoops. Let's see if I can pull some of them up for you. Images. Yeah. Here you go. This is what they looked like even back then. Even back in the day. Well, that's not a very big picture. I'm not crazy about that, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. Let me make myself tiny again. Let me make myself Vince the Lawyer sized again. And I'll show you this thing, because it looks exactly like some of them do today, to this very day. Yeah, see that thing there? That's what we had. That's what, popped in there. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's see. Uncle Ted music videos on Friday night and on his channel playing all the top tunes. Yes, there were a lot of shows that tried to encapsulate MTV in an hour. But there was also something called Video Jukebox on HBO. When a movie ended at a weird time, like say a movie ended at 1:37, they would fill that 23 minutes till the top of the hour with Video Jukebox. Let's see, Randy J. Ramos quite correctly says video killed MTV killed the radio set. Video killed Sweaty Balls. That's a good NPR show. Diane O'Brien says it looked like an old person sharing hearing aid. Hey, Tom. Yeah, well, that too. Honest to Pete, says the Wolf. Hey, man. The Wolf had a really good stereo in college. He was known for his stereo in college. The Reverend Wild Bill says WTBS Friday Night Videos was before MTV. I did not know that. I did not. And they had Night Flight on one of the stations, which was a hodgepodge of music videos and performances from concerts and old serial movies and stuff. And then they had USA Up All Night, which I loved. USA Up All Night. Jokerfish said, I had an orange foam pair of 80s headphones. I was styling. Joker, do you remember when you took those 80s headphones off with the foam? Sometimes there'd be little remnants of it, like in your ears and around your ears if you listen for a really long time. Sven Dunkel says, CB4, best movie back then. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that movie. I do not know if I know about that movie. Toby McGroby says, I loved a band called The Damned. I know The Damned. They purposely perform like idiots to protest the fact they were forced to lip it like frauds. It's fun to watch. The good old days. Yes, down the sunny slopes of yesterday. Days gone by. The Wolf says, what about USA Weird? I don't remember that one. I think Ted Turner was one of the first doing it. USA Up All Night was on Saturdays here in Atlanta. This is on Saturdays everywhere, I think. Wow, Bill. Cell Block 4, Chris Rock movie. I don't know if that's the one that Sven's talking about or not. UHF, watching bullfights. I was talking to my dad just 2 days ago. Maybe it was last week. Anyway, the point of it was I was watching the Super Bowl on antenna TV, over the antenna. And it was so perfect. And I told him, remember when we used to have to put tin foil on rabbit ears and move them around and twist them and everything just to get a snowy picture of something we really wanted to watch? It's amazing now. Jokerfish, I've seen The Damned a few times, love them. Devo outfits were a protest. Yeah, they wore the flower pots on their heads. Jokerfish, great life. Hey, you know what else? Am I too late to hear the explanation of 23 Skidoo? No, you're not, because I'm going to look it up right now. If you want it, I'll look it up. Who remembers? I'm assuming the lads will remember this more than the gals. The origin of 23 Skidoo is uncertain. Let me see if I can get any more than that. But remember when, if you had cable and you didn't have a pay channel, they would, and you turned it to that channel, the picture would be all sort of distorted and stuff, and it would change. But there were people who knew how to figure it out, how to get it to tune in so that you could watch like 10 or 15 seconds of it, and then it would distort for 2 or 3 seconds, and then it would come back. So 23 Skidoo has been described as perhaps the first national fad expression, and one of the most fad expressions to appear in the U.S. Pennants, armbands at stores, armbands at shore resorts, parks, and county fairs, bore either 23 or Skidoo. There are a number of stories suggesting the origin. The Flatiron Building in New York was located on 23rd Street, and during the early 1900s, groups of men reportedly gathered to watch women walking by to have their skirts blown up, revealing legs, which were seldom seen publicly at the time. Local constables, when sometimes telling such groups of men to leave the area, were said to be giving them the 23 skidoo. So there's that. That other story doesn't really have any. Skidoo derived from skedaddle, according to some people, including Webster's New World Dictionary. And of course, skedaddle means to leave. In any event, 23 and skidoo were used in George M. Cohan's 1904 musical play Little Johnny Jones. And so even before the expression 23 skidoo became popular in its own right, 23 and skidoo were frequently used in conjunction with or near each other. Skidoo, 23 for yours, or 23 for his, skidoo. So they just sort of morphed together. Other explanations, an article in 1906 in the New York American credits the phrase to one Patsy Marlson, a former jockey hauled into court on a misdemeanor charge. Said he worked at a track that only had room for 22 horses to start in a line. If a 23rd horse was added, the long shot horse would be lined up behind all of the other horses. Apparently 23 skidoo implied if the horse was in the back to have any chance of winning, it would have to go fast, and that meant 23 skidoo. There's a whole bunch of other explanations here, but in early 1900s, Death Valley town had 23 saloons, mainly basically tents. To visit all of them was known as going 23 skidoo, and that meant having a really good time. So not really clear where that first started. So sorry. Dr. Terwilliger's 5,000 Fingers, 100% weird. I think it might have been before Up All Night. Well, there's the 5,000 Fingers of Dr. I forget, but I've never heard of that movie you just mentioned. Although the Wolf knows more pervy movies than anybody. I'm proud to say I know most of them. Delco Chris says Philadelphia's WPHL, Channel 17, video rock circa the early 80s. The music for them bumpers was always I Want Candy by Bow Wow Wow. There were videos on Video Jukebox that predated MTV, like Local Girls by Graham Parker. There were plenty of them that predated MTV, and that's why I liked Video Jukebox so much. Terry Nee says, oh yes, boobs. That particular chat remark is never out of, it always makes sense. Joker Fish says, Toby, first English punk band to come to the States. Reverend Wild Bill says, and with the rabbit ear antennas, it worked great while touching it, and as soon as you let go, it goes back. So your dad made you stand there and hold it. Yeah, actually, yeah. And you might be platooned with other siblings if you had them. I was my dad's first TV remote. Yeah. Wasn't Skidoo the name of a Nielsen song? I don't know, Wolf. Sven Knuckles says, we running with the wolves tonight. Adam Ant was in Bow Wow Wow. Wow. Ant music. That Ant music. Oh, 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 oh. Ant music. I'm looking here. Looking at you. Why do I so? Anyway. Love me some Adam Ant. Well, and you have to distinguish between Adam Ant and Adam and the Ants. It's two different things. Julian Caesar says, I think the excellent video for Piano Man was pre-MTV. I'm quite certain it was. Quite certain. And some music videos were actually created for TV shows. If they had a guest on, they might do a music video for that guest song. One of them is for Indiana Wants Me. Lord, I can't go back there. There's a great music video to that song that was made for a TV show. No other reason. Dr. Terwilliger was the perv, the hand, the giant piano, forcing the kids to play it. What do you do? Well, I don't drink and I don't smoke. So, yeah, he had the big hand. The Wolf and I talk about all sorts of creepy movies. What's the one with the chick on the out at the graveyard? I can't think of the name of it. Orgy of the Dead or something like that. Yeah, the Wolf and I are connoisseurs. Oh, by the way, I've got my Salvation is Now Impossible shirt. A lot of people want to know what shirt I'm wearing, what I'm drinking, all that stuff. Try dipping. You mean snooze? That kind of dipping? Yeah, dipping. Yeah, of course. Snooze. Skull. Not starring John Skull, but put a pinch between your cheek and gum. Feels real relaxing in there. Hi, I'm Walt Garrison. When I'm wrestling a bull, I can't afford to let my hands get tied up. That's why I use Skull, Copenhagen, and Mild Happy Days. You just take a pinch, put it between your cheek and gum. Feels real relaxing in there. Gives real tobacco flavor. Then Shep Messing did one of the New York Cosmos. That's when I got into it. Terry Nee says MTV really changed music commercialism, not for the better. The very pervis. Oh, you're thinking of Caswell or Criswell. Criswell, yes. The very pervis Criswell from all the Ed Wood movies. Yeah. And that one chick out on the gravestone. That's what I remember from that. Anyway, I think we've reached our time here. I don't know of any other shows that are going on. Is Rico or anybody doing a later show? They were talking earlier in the day about doing one at 8 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if that's true or not. Or 9. I don't know. Lyndon loved his Red Man tobacco. Great chew. Yeah, ain't no sticks or stems. Stay good night, Gracie. Good night, Gracie. I guess I'll have to check myself. I'll check the YouTube myself and see if there's anything going on. I think I'll check myself now that I've got my good microphone closer to my face. The show sounds better. I don't see anything here. It doesn't appear to be anything in the queue. Let me see here. But you guys have done a very bad thing. Very bad thing. You've made me go back to the YouTube page. So now, one more time, just so I get total credit for this.
My Old Spice.
I don't
Total
care
Body
about
Deodorant.
your stupid Old Spice commercial. I hope this is transformative enough.
Dawn Power Wash.
I
has
don't
three
care
boosters
about
not
your
found in
Dawn
traditional dish soaps.
dishwashing. I
It's
don't
more
care
than
about
soap.
that
It's power
either.
wash.
Nobody cares. I hate your product now. All right, let me see here. And he says some stuff. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a notification. Oh, it's not for any of the Shuley Network programming. Because I'm a good guy. I don't step on anybody's stuff. Your shows are flying by lately. I can't believe it's 8 o'clock already. Well, whoops. Let's see here. Your shows are flying by. I can't believe it's 8 o'clock already. If you'd like to contribute to the Tom Gully Show, paypal.me/Tom Gully Show. We'd appreciate it. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Yes, Toby McGroby. I'm about to do that right now. I've already made myself teeny tiny like Vince the lawyer in the picture. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. If this isn't Vince the lawyer, I don't know what is. But what's happened here, just so this is transformative, YouTube, is that Captain Kirk encountered a ship. And that ship was very powerful. The Enterprise was scared of it. And the Enterprise thought they were going to be destroyed by this ship because this real scary good-looking guy's face told him he was going to destroy him. And he said there's something not on any of our records because these guys had, this ship had tapped into the computer, gotten all their records. It's not any of our records. It's called the Corbomite maneuver. Corbomite is a substance that, when exploded by another ship, results in an explosion 100 times greater than and that meant that ship, if it shot the Enterprise, would be destroying itself. So then the guy beams them on board. Instead of this scary looking guy, and I could show you the earlier part of the clip, the real Baylock, the one I put in the room earlier, where they walk by, and that's just a dummy. It's not a real thing. And then they encounter Clint Howard, this little youthful looking lad with a youthful voice who says, "You had not been scared of me, would you, Captain?" And Captain's like, "No, I wouldn't have." But anyway, here you are at what I believe to be the earliest known sighting, and certainly the laugh, of someone known as Vince the Lawyer.
Me, sir, I'd like to volunteer.
Ah, you represent Earth's best, then.
No, sir, I'm not. I'll make plenty of mistakes.
But you'd find out more about us that way. And I'd get a better officer in return.
That's the laugh right there.
And I'd get a better officer in return.
All right, one more time.
And I'd get a better officer in return.
Now, if that's not Vince the Lawyer's laugh, then I apologize. I apologize. All right, let's go through some of these last clips, and then I'll get out of here. Where was I at? I'll do that in just a second, Wild Bill. I did not think MTV was awful, and here's the reason why. The social factor of it. People gathered. Not everybody had MTV. It was like a pay thing on your cable channel. You had to get a bigger package for it. And not every cable system had MTV for quite some time. So you would get together for MTV. Live Aid was on MTV. And I remember going to my girlfriend's house. We invited all sorts of people over, and we had pizza and popcorn and burgers, and we just ate fast food and stayed up all night and watched Live Aid. It was awesome. And I got to see a lot of bands, particularly from England, I never would have got to see. I got to see a lot of new music, and some of the music videos were very, very good. Did it screw up music a little bit? Yeah, because you had to be photogenic, and it did all that stuff. But it died out a little bit. You know, and the ugly ones just, you know, used other videos without them in it. Only if there was breaking news. The Wolf says there were about 6 women dancing for that fiend. Toby McGrovey says, well, Terry, well said. Music videos brought the band's image to the forefront. It didn't help. Well, some of the bands were already good, and I liked seeing those bands. I didn't get to see Elvis Costello. Guess what? He didn't come to Indianapolis or Muncie, Indiana very often. I'm texting with Scott Swan now about Fred. That's awesome. That's awesome. Very good. Tom, talk with Frog. Your green screen is fluttering. I know it is. I know it is. It's not right now, though. But see, I don't care. I really don't care about that. I should, but I don't. Your shows are flying by lately. I can't believe it's 8 already. Once again, if you'd like to contribute, Tom Gully Show, you know, it's paypal.me/Tom Gully Show. I know it's a pain in the ass. We got to get monetized, but if you could do anything at all, it'd be really appreciated. Some of the people in this room already have, and man, I love you to death for that. So we also have merch at cafepress.com/The Tom Gully Show. You get a little something, I get a little something, you know, like this clock. This is Terry Nee's clock. Look at that clock. Hell of a clock. So you agree. I do. I agree and I don't agree. I enjoyed MTV. I also used to go to restaurants based on if they were showing MTV. VTL laugh clip one more time. Yes, we did that already. It was awesome. Reverend Wild Bill says PM, Eastern Daylight Time. Yes. 2 a.m. here. over in either Germany or the Netherlands. I don't know where Sven is ever. He's an international man. 8 o'clock Eastern. Tomorrow night, replayables. Shuli Network. Oh my goodness gracious me. Jokerfish says Vince would try to destroy the Enterprise. Look, check this out. This is the hat. We've got the wolf in here and we've got the hat. Nancy Ramsey, one of my favorite people on earth. Let me tell you a little story. We're going to go over time here. When I was first at Ball State, I had a class, video production. Well, it was intro to broadcast production, I think. We did a radio show. We did a TV studio show. And then we had to go out and we had to produce our own music video. Ta-da! And so there was a girl that was in the class, and she was older than we were. I was like 19 years old. I think she was in her early 20s because she'd gotten out of high school and worked and been out, in real life and gotten married and everything else. I think she may have lived in married housing. So I got my video done very quickly. Mine was squeeze black coffee in bed, and we shot it on Super 8 film. And then one day, this very funny lady, was very vivacious and outgoing, came up to me and goes, "Look, you're real good at this. What do I got to give you to help me with my video?" And so I think I told her 4 California coolers, which were a popular wine cooler at the time. Done. So we went out and we shot a video to Olivia Newton-John's Let's Get Physical. And I got people playing tennis and doing all sorts of other stuff, edited it together over at her place. And at the end of the whole thing, by the way, the phone lines I haven't opened up today. I'm sorry about that. I completely forgot. I didn't notice anybody complaining that the phone lines weren't open. So at the end of the whole thing, they had an Academy Awards kind of deal. This is in a big auditorium. They showed all of our videos with the corresponding music. They showed all of our music videos. And I got 100. I won. Nancy's got a 98 or something. She got second. And we went up there. Somebody got third. And we were all up there in the front of the people. And I think I remember turning to her and saying, "Why do I feel like I got 198? She's never let me forget that, ever. Nancy Ramsey is one of the most wonderful people in the world. By the way, paypal.me/Tom Gully Show. We could use the cash. I only say that because Nancy's rich. Toby McGrovey says, like the wizard behind the curtain, LOL. Nancy's not rich. I'm just joking. Okay, she may be rich. I don't know if she's rich or not, but she's hip. She's very hip. Nancy's one of the hippest chicks I've ever met in life. And I don't think she'll mind me calling her a chick. I have accompanied her to some BBEs. It's not easy to do as a white guy. I'm not going to explain what a BBE is. Lyndon's got his thumbs up. Nancy and I, big fans of photography. I haven't done photography in decades. But if I was around Nancy, we would have a photo shoot. We would do a photo shoot. She says, Jesus, that's an exact match. You're talking about the Vince to the left. Heck of a show, Gully. It's a hell of a show. We've done a hell of a show here tonight. Have to run. See you next time. Nancy, like, subscribe, hit the bell, get a notification. We're on every day, 7 o'clock Eastern. Any chance you could timestamp that clip unless you have already? It's at like the 3:30-ish mark, I think, maybe. Red Wild Bill says, we got MTV for the first time. We got cable premium. Basic didn't have it. Exactly. I'm stealing that clip. Well, go ahead. Just give me credit. Just footnote me. Say, Tom Gully Show, stumbled upon this. Maybe the Frog will do it. I don't know. The Frog has high standards. We may not get on the show. Ugliest band, Steely Dan. Maybe. But I loves me some Steely Dan. I'm an old white guy. I'm almost by law have to. The Reverend Wild Bill says, be sure to hit that like, smash that share, and if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell so your friends can join and be tortured as well. It's free. Hey, it's free. You know what I'm saying? I've been leaving Tom's videos running at night while I sleep. Terry Nee, you are a very special man. You really are. You're a very, very special man. The Wolf says, I was listening to Sleep Temple The Wolf turned me on to Billy Cobham, so I owe him forever. Sorry, Sleep Token. All right. Early MTV played Ramones concerts. Then it became a pop music video. Yeah, but Terry Nee says, did you go to Ball State? I went to Ball State. Nancy went to Ball State. Nancy also a Letterman scholar. After me, of course. Of course. Toby Regromi says, Terry Nee, same, and helped to hear the actual obtainable numbers of hours yesterday. It can be done. It can be, but I'm so far away, and I'm just, I just got to make some dough. Nancy Ramsey is laughing. Yes, she's remembering. That's a thumbs up, a clap, and a muscle flex. That's a lot. Please show that video of Let's Get Physical. I don't have the Let's Get Physical, and the 8mm film that I made is in a box somewhere. And in order to play it, you have to like get the movie started and have the song queued up perfectly. They're not married to each other. It's old school. Nancy Ramsey says, ha, 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 ha. Hip and fashionable. Okay. Yeah, something else? I think Nancy will remember this guy. There was a guy, he wasn't like a full-time professor. I think he worked in production at the television station or something. He was a guy that had red curly hair. He was there that day. He was running the film camera and all the stuff. And he came up to me, and I know he thought I was a complete goofball. He thought my video, and some of the videos were just terrible. Were just unwatchable. And mine wasn't. It told a story, there's a stain on my notebook that your coffee cup left. That whole thing. I did the whole thing. It's a really good film. And I went up and I gave him in a little canister. It's about this big and had a little top on it that you got the original film in. I handed it to him and he goes, okay. I bet this is going to be great. He said something really derogatory to me, like and then he played it and everybody saw it. People were clapping and everything. I came back and he went, okay. You're that kind of goofball. You know what you're doing. Okay. Yeah, that guy. Very attractive lady. Nancy is indeed a very attractive lady. Sven Uncle says, much love. Whoop, whoop. Let's see here. Special, no, not that kind of special. Chirp, chirp. Yes, fear the cardinal. Chirp, chirp indeed. The Wolf says, only the most important people went to Ball State. We have 3 Ball State graduates in this show right now. The Wolf, Nancy Ramsey, and your beloved host. There you go. Your beloved host right there. The Reverend Wobble says, hey, Wolf. Tom had credits. One was Michael Jackson was not in this video. Yeah, I had credits at the end of mine that were hilarious. Hilarious. Yes. Let's see. Hey, Rev, Diana, Cast of Thousands. Hey, Terry Nee says, I never realized you went to Ball State. How can you not? I talk about it. I wear Ball State. Yeah, I went to Ball State. I'm very proud of having gone to Ball State. Well, some of you in the room will know this, of course, but I am the first recipient of the David Letterman Scholarship. Yes, that's me. I played collegiate athletics while I was at Ball State as well. Yes, of course. Anyway, that's how I got that's how I got to meet 2 of the greatest people I've ever known in my life, Nancy Ramsey and Kim Warfield, was by going to Ball State. Yeah, and the Ball State ring on my finger. Here, let's just get this thing off of here. Here, I think I can even get it so it's, hold on, I got to get it. Come on, focus. Usually, there you go, look at that. Look at that, I turned this way just a little bit. Notice I don't have barnacle finger. Anyway. And that small Ball State ring on his finger. Splendid. Splendid. The guy from Squeeze has a great documentary. He travels around with an acoustic guitar and rocks out. It's really good. Are you talking about Tilbrook? I think it's Chris Tilbrook. You know, there's Tempted. The Squeeze song Tempted. Tempted by the fruit of another. Elvis Costello's in the background of that one, and I think also Black Coffee in Bed. Paul Young, too. They were recording in a studio, and artists that were down the hall in other studios just came down and did backup vocals. It was very cool. Paz says, sorry I'm late. Nobody's ever late to this show, Paz. I keep telling you that. You just don't listen. That's right. He was agile and had cords of muscle. The Wolf says, yes, I was agile. I had quick feet. Was not a fan favorite. But I did have quick feet. I was wiry. I was agile. Cords of muscle. Rippling cords of muscle. So many inside jokes. All right. That's going to do it. Well, I am so glad to have seen Nancy Ramsey here. You should mention Ball State more often. Okay. Now I think you're having me on here because I talk about it all the time. The Harvard of Muncie, Indiana. The Ball State Cardinal, the most feared robin-sized bird in all of collegiate athletics, according to David Letterman. Diana O'Brien, Squeeze, love their records. I love Squeeze too. I love all their stuff. So anyway, now I have to call Nancy Ramsey. You know. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. It was a hell of a show. We had a hell of a show tonight. And please share, like, subscribe, tell a friend, force someone that you don't like to watch. If you want to go to thetomgullyshow.com, there's 270 podcasts there. You can link to our merch store. You can also just directly go to cafepress.com/The Tom Gully Show if you just would like to make a cash donation. PayPal.me/Tom Gully Show. And then there's Patreon. That's the stuff I'm too scared to put online for everybody to see. The Wolf says she can watch 2 sports shows with Ball Staters. Yes. You're darn right. I don't want to get into all the people on television that you know and love that actually are from Ball State. I wouldn't do that. Fun show, Tom. Thank you. Tomorrow, Tony Kuritzis. Tony Kuritzis. You're not going to believe the story of Tony Kuritzis. You will not believe it. Joker says, thank you, Tom. Great show. Diana says, fantastic evening, Tom. Sven Dunkel says, give me a call next show if you like. I don't know your number. Sven Dunkel says, number in my info. Okay. Your Facebook info. Got it. I'll see if I can track it out. TG, I have to bounce, but we'll check in again. Should I try on YouTube? I'm watching this on Facebook. Cheers. Yes, try on YouTube. YouTube is the preferred way to watch the Tom Gully Show. It's the preferred way. Nancy's got to bounce. That means I can't call her now. Dang it. Peace, says Reverend Wild Bill. One love, chat, always. You guys are the best. I love you guys more than really crispy corned beef hash. I mean that. Let me make myself big again. And I guess the only thing left to say is, till next time, we'll see you next time.